Zitkala Sa was one of the most influential Native American women in the 20th century. Her first oratory speech was on women's rights. She famously stated that half of humanity cannot rise while the other half is in subjugation. Her activism wasn't limited just to women's suffrage. Throughout her life, she championed a broader range of issues related to Native American civil rights, including rights to self-determination, cultural preservation, citizenship, voting rights, and opposition to forced assimilation policies. Side by side exemplifies Elmer's standard conflict expansion theory. Zitkala Sa initiated the fight in a school, and as more people joined the fight, they directly influenced policies in the U.S. government. Zitkala Sa was born in Yankton Sioux Reservation in South Dakota in 1876. At 8 years old, she was sent to a missionary boarding school in Indiana. Hundreds of miles away from home, she faced cultural shock, intense homesickness, and isolation. Children were not allowed to speak their native language. They were forced to embrace Christianity and reject their cultural heritage. Above all, boarding schools aimed to train Native American children for roles as homemakers and farmers, while at the same time forcing assimilation into the dominant U.S. Anglo culture. Zitkala Sa, instead of succumbing to assimilation, she used her traumatic experiences to become a powerful voice to Native American people. As she delivered her side-by-side speech in Indiana in an oratory contest, she confronted her white audience and the U.S. mainstream narrative of Native Americans as uncivilized and defended Native American civilizations. She bravely stood before a predominantly white audience and judges and challenged the disconnect between the nation's founding ideals of equality and liberty and the historical cruel treatment of Native Americans by the U.S. government and the dominant white society. She also emphasized the European values of humanity and their professed principles and their application to certain groups. She stated, "Today, the Indian is pressed almost to the farther sea. Does the sea symbolize his death? Does the narrow territory still left to him typify the last brief day before his place on earth shall know him no more forever? Shall might make right, the fittest alone to survive?" As she continued, she highlighted to take the life of a nation during the slow march of centuries seems not a lighter crime than to crush it instantly with a fatal blow. She called out that killing people throughout centuries in small numbers was the same crime as killing them all at once. Following the publication of Side by Side, Zitkala Sa became a teacher, a writer, a musician, a public speaker, and a political activist. Zitkala Sa co-founded the National Council of American Indians in 1926. This organization championed Native American rights, particularly citizenship and other long-denied civil liberties. Through the National Council of American Indians, Zitkala Sa actively lobbied the U.S. government, contributing to the passage of Indian Citizenship Act in 1924 that gave Native Americans the right to vote. Zitkala Sa channeled her experiences as a boarding school student and as a teacher into a fight against forced assimilation. Through her writings, teachings, and organizing, she helped make Native American voices to be heard and their cultures to be valued.